What's going on, guys? It's Nick aka November coming at you for my Defender special as per promised. Now for this video I'm going to do a little half and half. I'm going to start off with a no spoiler. I'm going to give a quick little review and pretty much why you should watch it if you haven't gotten into the series yet or you're sitting on the fence or what have you. And then after that I'm going to go into a little more detail that are going to contain spoilers. That being said, I will take a little pause. Anyone who doesn't want to watch the spoiler portion of the video, I will give you guys time to get the fuck out of here before I start dropping some bombs. I do want to say right off the bat that not everything I'm going to say is going to be 100% positive, but I do want to say that overall I do recommend the show, and I'll probably overstate that a little bit more throughout the video. So in saying that, I want to start off by saying that I found that the pacing of the show was a little bit slow, at least at first. With an 8-episode run, I almost expected the heroes to meet in the first episode, or at least by the end of the first episode, and that was not the case, and the whole thing just kind of felt like it had a bit of a slow start to it. As the series goes, though, the pace does pick up and it does become much more satisfactory and almost forgives the slow start. So I want to start off with Sigourney Weaver. She was absolutely excellent as Alexandra. I don't think they could have picked anyone better for the primary villain throughout this series. She was absolutely wonderful. And the Hand itself in the comic books has a very menacing presence that in the shows I haven't quite felt up to this point. I felt that they were even trying to push that, but I as a viewer never actually felt that, and I actually felt throughout the run of the Defenders the presence of the Hand is kind of this menacing presence that looms over everything that's going on. So I really liked how they worked that in, and I can't even really describe how they worked it in. It was there, and it was really nice. Okay, so character interactions. Character interactions were absolutely delightful. There was some really good one-on-ones with Danny and Luke, with Luke and Jess. There was just some really good group discussions where like one character or another would kind of just like impose on the group, specifically Matt, when shit just needed to get done. And that's something else I kind of noticed in all the promotion. It seemed that they were pushing Matt's Daredevil as kind of the leader of the group, but there were definitely times where it seemed like Luke kind of maybe took a little more of a leadership role, so that was kind of cool how it wasn't just one guy. It was more situational. But all in all, the character interactions were really fun. Some are going to be not quite what you're expecting, so I personally found that really fun. I even enjoyed the interactions between the villains and the heroes. Like, that was done very, very well as well. Finally, I just want to note on the action. The action was incredible. Specifically in regards to Finn Jones's Iron Fist character. I really feel like he came a long way from his own series. His choreography and his fight scenes were much better. And as a whole, the fight scenes were very, very slick. The action was very good. There's actually some square-offs between some characters that you are going to definitely expect, and a couple that you aren't going to expect. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything at this moment. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So this is why you should watch it. The Defenders continues and concludes the origin story for Iron Fist begun in Season 1 of his own series. Now, at the beginning of Defenders, Danny still, on a maturity basis, isn't quite on par to kind of what I personally wanted as a viewer. I felt he was more still kind of back in his own series. But I really did feel throughout the run of Defenders, his character did mature. He stopped making stupid decisions, but I almost kind of found there were still a couple of cringe-worthy moments with Finn Jones's character. So, I mean, I hope that by the time they get to Iron Fist Season 2, they've just completely worked all those bugs out. Overall, I did like how they treated the character and finished off the origin in this series. It was done very well, and it was done in a way that it totally made sense in the realm of the entire series. As I said earlier, there is lots and lots of fun action. The choreography is great. The fight scene editing is fantastic. As well as the action, there is excellent character development, not only with Danny Rand's Iron Fist character, but as well as with Luke and Jess and Matt, and as well as some of the secondary characters from all of the shows. And the final thing I really wanted to say before I venture out of spoiler-free territory is that the story throughout the Defenders really builds off of the tones from all of the individual 4 series, and it blends elements from all 4 of those series to create this tone that works for Defenders itself, but doesn't make any one character have to conform to a format that it's not suited to. So that is about it for the spoiler-free portion of this video. If you have not watched The Defenders yet, or you have not finished it yet, and you don't want to spoil anything, I suggest you get the fuck out of here. And I'm gonna give you exactly 10 seconds to do it. I have this kind of time. Alright, you're fucked. Alright, the first thing I want to talk about is the Danny Rand Iron Fist costume tease at the end of the Defenders. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, that's too much. Alright. I really want to see this costume done in this series. I do fully understand that we may not do like the pajamas-esque kind of thingamabob, I don't know. But I'd like to see some kind of version of an Iron Fist costume in the Netflix series. Now, if you have finished the Defender series and you're sitting there and you're like, November, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's cool, I almost missed it myself. But in that very final scene where Danny's overlooking the city, he's actually wearing a green and yellow tracksuit, which he has actually donned at certain points in the comic book. So I personally really believe that this is a way for Marvel and Netflix to kind of tease us with, like, he's kind of heading in that direction of a costume, but not yet there. But that being said, if they're teasing it, then they are leading towards putting him in a costume at some point in time. And if they're teasing it now, it seems to reason that at some point in his own season 2, he will probably be donning that costume. Okay, I want to talk about Luke and Jess right now. There is definitely some interaction between Luke and Jess where you can see there are still some feelings there, regardless of the fact that by the end of Defenders, Luke is still with Claire. But I really just wanted to comment on it because it is definitely a prominent part of the Defenders storyline. So I loved how you got to meet the 5 heads of the Hand, and you really got to hash out the Hand's true origin story and their connection to the Iron Fist and Kunlun, and that really tied in really well with not just the Iron Fist series, but all the other 3 series they pulled elements from and knit it all together very well. So I actually really believe that was done excellently. The second last thing I wanted to talk about is I actually like how at the end they all splinter apart, despite the tragedy of losing Matt at the end. It's not like a kind of super friends at the end. They're all standing there, you know, like, let's do it, guys, you know, like, no, they all just kind of, they're like, okay, it's over, and they all just kind of splinter off to do their own thing. So I found that very interesting, and I am kind of interested to see how that's going to affect all the singular series that are coming out in the next little while. And the final thing I want to talk about, and I pretty much called this, Elektra becomes the leader of the Hand. Now, in November news, and how in the comic books, Elektra is the first Skrull found, and at that point in time, she is the leader of the Hand. And I had mentioned that you know, that would be a nice, tidy little way for them to include the Defenders into the film universe. And at the end of the Defenders series, Elektra is now the leader of the Hand. So I find it a little bit coincidental. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Marvel and MCU is going in a completely different direction, but I don't know. All signs are pointing towards Secret Invasion, and all signs are pointing towards Secret Invasion being the point when Defenders are included into the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe. As usual, we'll have to just kind of sit on this and wait until it actually happens, or until we get some kind of news from Marvel about it. But I personally really do believe that this is where the MCU is headed. So I hope you guys enjoyed my Defenders special. I hope you are enjoying the Defenders yourself, and if you have not, I hope that this was enough to get you there. Either way, I'm Nick, aka November, and I'm signing out.